back again to talk about this weekend's Premier League action and like what I thought of the games and how the games went. Liverpool Bournemouth 4-2. Bournemouth looked dangerous. Bournemouth did look very dangerous throughout the game. Don't let the result fool you. I don't think Liverpool were by far the better team. Obviously they were the better team, but not by a long shot. There's a couple of dodgy decisions throughout the game, mainly for both teams really. I'd say Ekitike got very lucky with his goal, but it was well taken once the bounce. Sometimes the bounce was favourite, sometimes it doesn't. It's 50-50, isn't it? But yeah, it did favour him, and he took it well after it did favour him. I'm not saying him taking the shot was lucky, I'm saying the way it bounced through was a bit lucky. But yeah, Gakpo looked really good though. Gakpo looked like he was going to be the main threat this year. Obviously, they're still kind of bringing in an Isak potentially, which I think could harm Gakpo, because obviously Ekitike might play out wide then. Isak has played out wide before for another striker, but Gakpo looks good out there on the left right now, fully replacing Luis Diaz. Semenyo, though, on the other hand, faced a bit of racist abuse before the halfway mark by some kind of wheelchair evicted from stadium, and then going out in the second half and dunking on him twice. I kind of rate that. I kind of got to rate that. That was good from him, and it was two really well taken goals as well. And the second one even better. Van Dijk's aura farming. He's had to walk away from it. He ran off, let Canate deal with it. Canate seemed a mess, but when I was watching it, I feel like Liverpool have left themselves too exposed with the type of fullbacks they have now. Like Andy Robertson kind of knew where to be before, but Frimpong, like when Trent would come in, but Frimpong's not coming in as much. It's more like trying to go out on the wide, and it's not helping how Liverpool are trying to defend. Truffert looked good for Bournemouth as well. I think he dealt with Salah pretty well throughout the whole game. Salah was pretty quiet until he scored right at the end, obviously. But that's when he was on the left. Salah moved to the left side. That's where Gakpo was having a good time, and Chiesa saved the day for him. But I said I don't think Liverpool's defence is going to be the strongest this year. Obviously Alisson's a very good goalkeeper. It's going to be hard to get past him. But just leaving Van Dijk at the back, Canate looked a bit slippery as well. It wasn't the best night to showcase what Liverpool were all about. And the next day, Aston Villa and Newcastle, not the best day to show what the Prem's about, because 0-0. Our first 0-0 of the season coming in the second game of the season. Villa and Newcastle. It's Newcastle clearly missing Isak. That was a whole big thing for Newcastle. They're clearly missing Isak. Aston Villa's excuse isn't there as much. Like you had your team out. Like Watkins was there, Rodgers was there, your goal scorer was there, but something just looked a bit lacklustre from Villa. But yeah, Newcastle with that front three of Gordon and Elanga and Barnes, it seemed like they were going to create loads, and they were getting the chances, but they had no one that was clinical enough to finish the chances. The red card from Konza was such a valid red card. I didn't see it live. I've had to rewatch it, and I saw his reaction. What? Why? Have you, what do you mean? He was through, and you've dragged him to the ground. That is a foul in every sense of the word. But yeah, it was a pretty naff game, especially for the second game of the season. It was missing. It was missing something. Don't worry, the 3 o'clock games, the ones that weren't on TV, they had plenty of excitement. As Spurs beat Burnley 3-0, Richarlison, he was going an overhead kick. He scored twice, actually. 2 very well taken goals for him. I think Dubravka is the only real saving point for Burnley. Burnley look good on the counter-attack. They've got pace behind them. And they put on the pressure pretty well, but it was Spurs we're talking about. So it's this Spurs team did finish 17th last year. People still put them higher. I know. Don't even come from me in the comments. We know, but Spurs look good. Burnley look like they could have something about them, but I just don't really see it. I've seen no goals in this game, and I think that's how most of it is going to go. They were relying on keeping clean sheets last year. Dubravka might get a few for him, but it's not going to be the greatest of years for Burnley. I tell you that now. Sunderland, West Ham. Sunderland looking great as a new additions to the Premier League. West Ham looking poor, man. Bowen was the only real guy trying to do anything for West Ham again and again and again, and it's just, well, at what point is it just not good enough anymore? At what point do West Ham really look up themselves and have a full-on revamp? Because they signed some great players, and then something happens, but I don't know what happens. And West Ham never really get clowned about it for spending all this money, because at the start of the season people go, oh my god, West Ham bought them, and then they don't really do much. Mayenda's goal snuck in. Hamarson, who I thought was a really good goalkeeper last year for Leicester, should have done better for Mayenda's goal though. Didn't, obviously. But yeah, Adingra causing a bit of trouble. in around the areas as well, which was nice to see. I'd quite like Adingra, especially Sam at Brighton. I thought he can really do something. And I was at Sunderland, I think you can keep Sunderland up. Ballard, though, was the man of the weekend with a great goal, some great defensive interceptions as well, and blocks, and defensive work all round. And then Wilson Usdorf working himself to the Premier League. I think Sunderland played really well. I think Sunderland have made a really good account for themselves, an even better account than I thought they was going to make for themselves. And yeah, I think Sunderland are going to be that team that stays up. I think everyone's looking at it and going, yeah, that this Sunderland team is clear. Brighton and Fulham drawing 1-1. Once again, not much more to say about this one. It was a Muniz goal really late on and a Brighton penalty. I don't think either team really had loads of creation about them. They could have done a lot better, both teams. I think Brighton are missing João Pedro a bit. Maybe just like a proper focal point. Obviously, Jorginho was the one up front, but is he that guy? Is he that guy to be leading Brighton forward? I don't know. I think Brighton are going to look pretty poor this year. It hurts a lot. It's a lot of praise. I know a lot of people give Brighton a lot of praise. Fulham, obviously a good team, but you expect better off both, really. Just in terms of like watching the game, it just wasn't really much. In terms of the game, watching and being like, oh my god, what am I watching here? Was Wolves City. Oh my god, Jesus Christ, does that game hurt me? Haaland 4.0 is here, guys. He's here to break some more records, and Jesus Christ, Reinders is Gundogan 2.0. He was dictating the entire game for himself and setting the pace. It was really hard to judge Wolves. It was really hard to judge how Wolves are going to be as a team this year off of this performance, because City were just so clearly dominating, and that's just how I feel City are going to be this year. I did say this in my I had pre-predictions before the season, and I said City are going to dominate. Doesn't mean they're going to win every game, but they are going to dominate teams non-stop this year. Hard to see. It's hard to see a weak point. Watching the City team now, it is hard to see where the weak point's going to come in and be like, oh yeah, there. No, I just don't see it. Minetti looked good for Wolves, but just it needs to stay on side. Like, the chances were creating by him, but it just needs to stay on side. And Strand Larsen is what's going to keep Wolves safe this year. I said this before. Strand Larsen is that guy. He is going to be that guy throughout the whole year, and he's a very strong point. It's a very good purchase by Wolves. They know how to make him. And we had our second 0-0 of the season. Yep, that's right. 2 0-0s in the first game week. That is fantastic, isn't it? As Chelsea and Palace drew 0-0. Palace could have easily won this game. Palace should have won this game. The Eze free kick was harsh to rule out. But Palace had other chances where they could have won the game as well, and they didn't take him. Esteval looked good when he came on, but I think this season Chelsea's main threat is going to be set pieces. If Reece James can stay fit, we know he struggles with it. But it looks like he's back now. It looks like he's going to be a lot stronger. And he was, they had a good few chances. They had a good few chances from set pieces throughout the game. Sarr clearing one off the line as well. Speaking of Sarr, I think once Eze, it feels like Eze is going to leave. Sarr is going to cover it. Don't worry. Like, Sarr's going to be fine to do what Palace need him to do. Brentford get beat 3-1 by Forest. Wood is on target for the 100 Premier League goals. He's 9 goals away. Can he get there before Haaland? It's going to be a good race to see who can get to 100 goals before Wood or Haaland. We'll wait and see. Forest looking strong defensively. I do feel like the frailties will start appearing when they get into Europe, but in all fairness, Doyle looked good for him. He got a great header that Gibbs White put in. Gibbs White having a great performance with his new contract, thanks to Mr. Marinakis. If you've not heard it already, Mr. Marinakis got him to sign a new contract, and Igor giving the only thing that Brentford fans could cheer about. Yeah, he gave him some. I just don't think Brentford are going to be that great this year. Brentford are going to struggle. Brentford, West Ham are going to be the two teams that struggle the most, I reckon, that haven't been promoted. United and Arsenal. I've actually written United 1, Arsenal 0 on my little notes here, because it probably should have been. It was a really poor goal for us to concede. I cannot deny that. I cannot say we shouldn't have conceded. We shouldn't have conceded that goal. We should be stronger in our, the goalkeeper should be stronger. Binder should have been stronger, but he wasn't. But apart from that, Arsenal did nothing. Arsenal fans can't leave that game being happy with their performance. They'll be happy with the result, but not with the performance. Because, oh my god, United looked good. United looked really good. Now, maybe that's the bias talking, but Cunha and Mbeumo looked great. I think Mount had a really good game as well. I think we looked better once Šeško came on and was the main focal point. Obviously, it's a bit harsh on Mount to drop him, but Cunha and Mbeumo were unbelievable. I can't drop either of them. Mount had a good game, yeah, but Šeško is that focal point. Stunning on midfielder. Casemiro was a bit lacklustre, and when Ugarte came on, he gave me a headache and a half. And I need a keeper, because looking at that, I was like, Bayindir, what you doing, pal? put some eating in that. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? Raya had the best game of the day, though. Raya had a great game, stopping many chances. Made a great save from Cunha and a great save from Mbeumo. He was really fast to everything, as he always is, and a big part of what's going to be pushing Arsenal on this year. We'll wait and see how they do. You know, I said they played poorly. But at the end of the game, how the hell did we not get a penalty? How the hell was that Saliba foul on Cunha? Not a penalty. It baffles me. And then Leeds was the final game of the weekend, beating Everton 1-0. Welcome back to the Premier. Big for them. It probably should have been 0-0. I think if anyone was going to win the game, it should have been Leeds. Leeds were a better team throughout the game. Everton just lacking again. Like, I don't get it. Like, they make good progress, and the next year there's reset. Like, there's a reset button hits on the Everton club, and you go right back to square one. But you're not done anything to go back to square one. You've signed Grealish and everything. Like, they looked better when Grealish came on, but still they had not loads of attacking threat. So yeah, if someone deserved to win, it was Leeds, but it was a very poor penalty to be given away. Like, obviously it hit his hand. What more can you do? What more? I don't get it. It's cool. That's the end of the video. I usually do my team of the week, but I'm trying new things out. We're gonna see how it goes. Yeah, if you like the video, please leave a like, see more, subscribe. Yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and hope I do catch you next time. Cheers.